Commission started. If anyone would like to speak on an issue on the agenda, you can fill out a slip and give it to one of these beautiful young ladies. And if you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, you can still do the same. Fill out a slip and hand it to them. So with that, we'll do our pledge of allegiance. Tony, would you like to start us off? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, where do you want to go from here, Ben?
So we can start with the roll call, and then the next step will be the oath of office for our two new planning commissioners as we welcome them to the dais.
Chris, can you give me a roll call?
I sure will. Commissioner Hicks. Here. Commissioner Wolf. Commissioner Reckstad. Commissioner Markarian. Here. Commissioner Brzee. Commissioner Beck. Here. And Chair Algauer.
Here.
And we did receive calls from both Commissioner Brzee and Reckstad that they would not be able to be available tonight.
Okay.
So the next item would be the oath of office for our two new commissioners, Commissioner Hicks and Commissioner Beck. Welcome you guys to the City of Yucaipa Planning Commission. Chris does have kind of an oath of office that you guys will take verbally.
So if you two would please stand up and raise your right hand. And then you'll just repeat after me. So I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter, and during such time as I hold the office of Yucaipa City Planning Commissioner. Thank you.
All right, well, welcome. Now it's official. All right, the next item is the election of officers. I'm not sure if you have a preference, JR, on how to do it, but I think past years it's been you guys nominate your chair.
I'll nominate J.R. Algauer
For chair or?
for chair.
Okay.
I second that.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I think he's got a couple years left in him.
Okay, then you guys can take a vote on that. Chris, can you do a roll call for that?
Commissioner Hicks,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf. Commissioner Wolf. Oops, sorry.
Someone's at the door.
Oh, I heard him. Okay. Commissioner Markarian.
Aye.
Commissioner Brzee. Commissioner Beck.
Aye.
And Chair Algauer.
Yes.
Okay. So then the next one would be the vice chair.
We need a vice chair. Well, I'd like to go ahead and nominate Chris. He's been around. He's getting his feet wet here for a few years. So I'll nominate Chris.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call. Commissioner Hicks,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf, Commissioner Rexstad, Commissioner Markarian,
Aye.
Commissioner Brzee, Commissioner Beck, and Chair Algauer.
Aye.
All right. All right, the last order of business is the 2 representatives for the American Viticulture Association Planning Committee. This is a committee that was established to help kind of plan the future of how vineyards fit into the city of Yucaipa and that activity. Chair Algauer and then the former Vice Chair Work were both the representatives during the Phase 1. And so the Phase 2 is essentially developing a specific plan. It will be a pretty fun project. And so as part of that, we will need 2 delegates from the Planning Commission to help represent that side of the stakeholders. Happy to answer any questions on that, and then you guys can feel free to pick the 2.
What's entailed in being on that committee?
So it will be a advisory committee that will help shape what the overall specific plan and policies will be for viticulture growing in the North Bench in particular. And it will have probably monthly meetings associated with it, and then we'll be doing outreach, and so you guys will be combining kind of the different lessons learned. The Phase 1 report was presented to City Council, so it does give a pretty good background of what the history has been so far. And then certainly continuing that public outreach effort and really helping create the vision of how an agricultural use gets established in the city that hasn't been here before, and how that can make sense and really thrive and be prosperous. So
When are the monthly meetings?
we had historically had them, I think, the second Tuesday of the month. They haven't reestablished yet. The contract was just signed, and so we'll be scheduling those meetings, but it'll probably be a set schedule, maybe similar to the second Tuesday, what it had been for the prior Phase 1.
You're on it?
Yeah, I'm on, I guess.
I'd be interested.
There you go.
There you go.
Let Tony and, I'd like to see Tony and Chris both get on it.
Oh, I was gonna say. Thanks, JR.
It was a setup.
Well, I got that nomination. I don't see any problem with it. Any objections?
I mean, I'll help out in every way I can. I'm still on the EDAC advisory committee, so the Economic Development Advisory Committee. I'll do one thing at a time, but I'll be more than happy to step up and help. If that's once a month meeting that will correlate with what we're doing here as Planning Commission, then
It will be certainly developing a plan that the Plan Commission itself will weigh in on for City Council in the future. So that's part of the purpose of having the Plan Commission representatives, is to really help shape in your guys' role how everything kind of ties in and providing that perspective. One of the members that's on that AVA Planning Committee is also supposed to be a delegate from the EDAC as well, which I
really?
think before was Craig Heaps, but certainly I don't know if they've selected someone for this year.
all right. Well, I'll be happy to serve. I'll try not to.
And Commissioner Hitz as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know if this needs a vote, but if you guys want to motion and second it, that way we can just memorialize it for the record. That maybe.
Just in case we change our minds.
They can do, JR can do the nomination for both.
Yes. Yeah, we got a second right here on it, so you can do a roll call.
Okay, here's a roll call. Commissioner Hicks,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf, Commissioner Rexstad, Commissioner Markarian,
Aye.
Commissioner Brzee, Commissioner Beck, and Chair Algauer.
Aye.
All right, wonderful. As part of that, I will send you guys a link to the Phase 1 report as well, and happy to meet with you guys to kind of catch you guys up on the year-long activity that we've done so far and kind of go from there. But I appreciate it, and it's definitely a very fun and unique project that no other city is trying to figure out. So
Isn't that the one where we do the fun wine trips to Temecula and stuff? I don't drink, but I heard about those.
all right.
It was a good committee. We got off on a good foot, and made a lot of good decisions. So it needed to move on to the next step. So
A lot of great perspectives, and no other city is doing something trying to figure out the problems that we are creating in industry. So it's very kind of a cool project that other groups are very excited about. So
Awesome.
okay, with that, I guess we want to move to the first project then. You got any other business?
So we do have the public comment, and then one thing I do want to note for the agenda, looking through under the consent, is there is not a
Okay.
quorum for the minutes.
Okay, you want to approve the minutes? Do we have a quorum to approve the minutes from, we don't?
No, so that will need to be continued.
Okay, so we can't approve the minutes. So we have any public comment?
No public comments on items not on the agenda.
Okay, my notes are all mixed up here.
How many members do we need to have a quorum?
4.
But it would have been the 4 members that were at
Has
the
to be the
meeting.
4
and so
that
there's
were
That
only
were present at
3
the
today.
meeting? I see.
Is case 2143 first?
No.
I got them all mixed up. Okay, the first, we have a CUP, case number 20-111, a conditional use permit.
And Maddie will take the presentation for that.
Thank you, Chairman Algauer. So case number 20-111 is a CUP and architectural review to construct a 2,520 square foot metal office building and automotive repair facility on an approximately 0.43 acre property at 31635 Avenue E. The site is located on the south side of Avenue E, and north of Dunlap Boulevard and the I-10 freeway and west of 18th Street. Surrounded by multifamily and single-family uses to the north and east, and there's a steel manufacturing site to the south and a steel yard to the west. This project is also located within the Dunlap Industrial Corridor area, which does allow light manufacturing uses. As I said, it's a 0.43 acre property and is zoned community industrial and has an existing 1,866 square foot single-family residence on site, which is proposed to be demolished. Some background on this facility is that it currently operates an existing dealership located at 31650 Dunlap Boulevard. So Pop Top Heaven specializes in the reconditioning of Volkswagen RVs. There's some pictures located on the screen. And the applicant proposes to now diversify his business model and expand into the repair service area as well, given that it's such a specialized and unique repair service that they're getting a lot of clientele from kind of all across America. And so this will allow them to kind of go into that realm of business as well. The proposed project site will serve as an extension of the existing facility, as I mentioned. So the site plan includes the demolition of the existing single-family residence. It'll have a 33-foot by 20-foot metal building, which is 2,520 square feet, consisting of 270 square feet of office and reception area space, and then 2,109 square feet of repair service area, which is all in an enclosed garage. There will be a landscaped detention basin in the rear, and perimeter fencing will be provided by an existing chain link fence at the rear of the property. It's black vinyl coated, and it's also located on the interior side property lines, but currently is not on the actual property lines, so that will be removed and then placed on the actual boundaries. And then there will be a retaining wall towards the front portion of the site. Here's an image of the site plan, or the floor plan, excuse me, including the automotive repair facility, and then the office and reception space. There'll be 3 roll-up doors on the eastern side of the building. So this project conforms to all general plan standards and community industrial zoning in terms of building and lot coverage, provides appropriate landscaping. A 15% minimum is required, and they're coming in at 15.8%. All setback requirements are satisfied, and parking spaces as well. So there'll be a total of 4 located on site. The materials proposed for the building is primarily sheet metal, and that'll be painted in 2 different color schemes to provide some dimension and building articulation. So the majority of the roof and the sides will be painted cool Arctic white, and then cool zinc gray will serve as an accent color on the front portion of the building. Trim elements will be painted a cool colonial red color to kind of, again, add some dimension. There's also a patio element at the front. The sign permit will be filed under a separate sign registration. Here's a 3D rendering of the building. It will have a peak height of 21.5 feet, an 11-foot covered patio area, 11 square foot covered patio area, and then, as I said, the 2 different color tones to hopefully kind of add some unique character to the structure. Landscaping will abide by our water efficiency ordinance and be reviewed and approved by the in-house landscape architect. They'll have some London plan trees and strawberry trees, as well as shrubs and bushes kind of surrounding the site. Here's a photo of the existing site. There's kind of a significant grade differential at the property. You can see to some extent here. And that's the single-family residence that's proposed to be demoed. There was one, project notices were sent out to the public, and 1 comment was received involving concerns with traffic, parking, noise, and hazardous materials. The planning staff reviewed this comment, and as I mentioned, the project is consistent with general plan and industrial commercial zoning for traffic and parking regulations. It has also been designed so that all repair operations will take place inside an enclosed service area, which should help mitigate noise. The hours of operation are between 9 and 5 p.m. during the weekdays, so should also not have noise during obscure hours of the day. So it is staff's recommendation that you approve conditional use permit 20-111, as well as architectural design, adopt the findings contained in the agenda report, as well as a categorical exemption pursuant to Class 32 of CEQA in full development, and then direct staff to file a notice of exemption. I can hopefully answer some questions, as well as the applicant is present if you have anything specifically for them.
No, I'm looking at it in satellite view on my phone here. What's on the right and the left on Avenue E of this property? Is it residential homes or is it businesses?
The right so that is the eastern side of the property is a home, and then to the west is a steel manufacturing yard.
I'm sorry, what's on
A
the?
steel yard.
A spill yard?
Steel yard.
Seal yard.
The property to the right is classified as a residence, but there is a unpermitted repossession business there that's been under code enforcement.
Oh, I
that
see.
location.
Backs up to Calamasa Steel.
Yep.
A steel yard, got it. And then on the corner of 18th and E, these are all homes, correct?
Yes.
Well, let's just have the applicant or his representative like to make a statement, comment. Come on down.
This would be the applicant and their representative. The public hearing portion will be after afterwards once the chair calls for that.
Oh, okay.
So I own the property, so I guess that would, well, I'm not entirely sure what I should be saying. We've been doing business on Dunlap Boulevard as Pop Top Heaven since 2005. And we were trying to find someplace that we could be close to our location and expand our business. And we outgrew our location about 30 minutes after we bought it. So this seemed like a perfect place to go. We're not going to be generally servicing people who are going to come up and say, hey, I want my Chevy fixed or something like that. These are our, most of them are going to be our vehicles that we're offering for sale. And I'm kind of trying to figure out what I should be saying.
Okay, well, let me
you have
help you
specific
out maybe there. You're Christopher Nelson, right?
I am, correct.
All right, let's start with that. So you have an existing business right now?
Yes, Pop Top Heaven on Dunlap Boulevard. We've
And
been
what kind of business is that?
We purchase and recondition Volkswagen Eurovan campers. There's two different models. One's called a Rialta, the other's called a camper, and there's two different versions of the camper.
And how long have you been doing that?
15 years.
Okay, and now you're trying to expand into this property that
Correct.
you own?
Correct, and I want to stay local. I've been a resident since 1974, believe it or not. So I'm trying to find a way to keep the business in town, and it's been very difficult to find some place that's been zoned correctly. And this turned out to be perfect, and it was very close by. So it just seemed
You
like
can
a
see it on the-
logical next
the map.
step to take.
I see, okay. All right, and one of the concerns is, obviously, if I were to live next door
Of
and you
course.
want to do this, are you going to have all kinds of junk cars parked outside?
No, not at all, not at all. I had to do this back in 2005 and explain it when this place wasn't here. Most of our clients we never meet. Most of our sales are done over the internet to Canada, the United States, internationally. But what we're running into now is that we are at a point where we cannot do what we need to do where we're at. So we need to expand, and that's kind of what this is. So we're trying to build a facility that we can bring our vehicles to and have a showroom in one area and a repair facility in another, but are close enough by that it makes sense. And also keeping it local to Yucaipa, because that's kind of important to me, because I love this town.
So one of the purpose of the building is to house the vehicles.
Not house the vehicles, to repair the vehicles. Most of our vehicles are at Whippert's RV right now in storage.
Okay.
But we need a bigger facility. This is going to be a 3-bay repair facility, so we can hire more mechanics. We can hire more RV techs, and we can have people in there expediting our flow of vehicles. We have 42 outgoing vehicles right now, and we're swamped. So
And that's good, we're happy to hear that. Now, if you had more cars than you can repair, where are you going to park the additional vehicles?
well, the only vehicles that are going to be there are the ones that are being repaired.
Okay,
So that's what I'm saying. It's not like, again, we're not going to have, lines of cars on the streets. We're not going to have tons of cars in our parking lot. Most of our clients will never meet because these are vehicles that we've sold to someone in Massachusetts who wants to have the vehicle reconditioned by us, repaired, and then shipped out.
It looks like most of them will be kept inside. like in the
Correct.
evening. Yeah, because you only have 4 parking spots.
Exactly.
So-
There's not room to park vehicles.
Yeah, I'm familiar with your operation.
Oh, okay.
On Dunlap. And I do know, you are swamped. You always
Yes.
have them parked on the streets,
Well,
so,
most of the vehicles parked in the streets are because we're trying to move vehicles out.
Right.
And they're mostly
Right.
employees that are parked on the streets because we just don't have room. We are literally stumbling over ourselves.
well, and I see, you have the noise issue, you have Calamasa Steel Yard next door. I'm familiar with that
Yeah,
business, right?
that,
So
the
you have
the ground
forklifts running
shakes
back and
daily.
forth all day long,
But I'm also.
And they're open 6 days a week.
Yeah, but I'm also been very adamant about 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Because my employees have families and I want them to live their lives rather than make this their lives. So we're 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you want to show up on a Saturday, have a nice day. And that's how we're going to run this.
all right.
Okay, anyone else have any questions for the applicant at this time?
No, that's,
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any public comments?
I believe we have one on the phone.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment. Okay, with that, we'll close the public comments. Did the applicant wish to make any rebuttal on?
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm the designer for the project. So as far as a rebuttal, obviously, we know this is an industrial zone. It meets all the requirements of that area. But the property owner, part of this project is, it is a different operation than his operation on Dunlap. The reason for the cars obviously on Dunlap is because he's selling them there. This is obviously the auto repair facility. So part of that whole thing is he's assured us that there's obviously no parking that's going to be going on the street at all. Everything will be kept in-house. Everything's going to be stored. Obviously, the condition of that property is not all that great, as we can see from the photos. As we've seen with DKC and even with the slate glazing place, it's really brought the value of the neighborhood up quite a bit with all the improvements that have been done. And that's what this property owner wants to do as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move to the commissioners. Let's start, Tony, you have,
I understand the homeowner's concern with regards to the parking because, from what I see, you do park a lot of RVs out on the street at your location. And so I don't know if there's any conditions. You only have 4 parking spaces and you have 3 bays. Yeah, I think that's fine. But I understand that's the concern. I'm not concerned about trucks coming in because I don't think you have
Yeah, we're not
deliveries
gonna
coming in
have
at that
deliveries.
point
I
where
know
they're
that
gonna be blocking the street but I understand what her concern is
100%.
based on that.
I'm 100% on board with what she's saying. I understand.
Right.
I know the place next door because when I leave Pop Top Heaven, I always drive around the corner by
Right.
the new
Yeah,
zone there that they're building, the Chick-fil-A or whatever's going in there. And I always drive by and I see delivery trucks there for the repo yard that's next door.
right.
But that's not our intention. And also, it would be dangerous to do that because I don't know if you've driven that street. I'm sure you all have. There's
Yeah.
no room. And it would be dangerous to park vehicles on that street. That's not my intention in any way, shape, or form. Again, the only vehicles that are going to be there are the vehicles that we are going to be repairing. And that's it. That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chris, you have something?
Sure. Ms. Kyle, are you still on the line? All right, so as you're hearing, so as planning commissioners, obviously, we live in this town, and we appreciate your input, and we can feel your concern. Part of our job is to balance that interest with a good business in town as well. And from the assurances that we've heard from Mr. Nelson here, based on his prior experience and work for 15 years down the street, although we feel your concern, I think based on what we heard here today, it is in his best interest to increase the property values as well, since he's the owner of that property and he's not someone who's going to be renting and not caring for it. So I hope that alleviates a little bit of your concern and causes you some relief to know that we encourage good businesses in our town, and he's going to bring business and he's going to employ probably some of your neighbors in town here and carry on with being a good citizen of our town. So,
You have something you want to add?
No, no,
Okay. What about, who do we have up there? We have on the phone?
Commissioner Wolf is on the phone.
Aaron, are you up there? Yeah, we hear you. You have a comments?
so
I'm not for me, but. Commissioner Wolf, this is Katrina Fermeen's not in this evening, so I'll be speaking on his behalf, if that's okay. As far as Avenue E, we don't currently have plans to widen that street, but I do know one of the concerns that was brought up tonight was in front of the Vantage One development along Avenue E. And one of the things that will be installed as part of that development is a stop sign, a three-way stop sign at Avenue E and Dunlap Boulevard. And so I know there's some concern about traffic there, but I think that that will help as a traffic control device. So that will help issues that might be occurring due to the potential increase in traffic. And then as far as the capacity for those roadways, those are always looked at when the general plan was approved. So if this development is in the approved zoning area, then that has already been calculated in the general plan, and so it is adequate to have the amount of traffic that will be part of this development and the one further west.
Okay, thank you. With that, we have any motions for the table?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve CUP number 20-111 and adopt items B and C and direct staff to file the notice of exemption.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Do we have a roll call, Chris? Yes, Tony seconded it.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Hicks,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf, Commissioner Reckstad, Commissioner Markarian,
Aye.
Commissioner Brzee, Commissioner Beck,
Aye.
and Chair Algauer.
Aye. Motion carries. Have a project. Good luck to you.
Good luck, Mr. Nelson.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is a special use permit, case number 20-143. Architectural review. Ben, who's taking that? Oh,
got it.
Maddie will present the
Thank you,
report.
Honorable Chairman Algauer. So this is case number 20-143, SUP and architectural review for a 960 square foot and 13.5 foot tall metal garage located on a single-family residential property at 35778 Date Avenue. The site is located north of Date Street, just west of the intersection of Date and Grove Drive. It's zoned RS 20M, single residential with a 20,000 square foot minimum lot size, and is surrounded by single-family residential uses as well. Here's the site plan. There's an existing 2,500 square foot single-family residence on site, and the proposed 960 square foot metal garage will be located about 60 feet behind the main residence, and it fits within all setbacks for the zoning district. The roof is proposed to be painted a red color to match the terracotta clay tiles on the existing front house, which you can see in a picture of a little bit later in the presentation. And the sidewalls are proposed to be painted a pewter gray color. The max height, as I mentioned, is 13.5 feet. And there will be 2 roll-up doors on the east elevation and 1 on the north elevation. Here's a proposed 3D rendering, gives you a little bit better understanding of the building dimension. And here's a photo of the main residence in the front from a couple of different angles. Project notices were sent to the surrounding property owners and no responses were received. And pursuant to CEQA, it's the planning department's belief that this will qualify for a categorical exemption because it consists of a metal garage, which will be used as an accessory structure on the property. The applicant specifically wants to use this garage for storage of personal vehicles, house supplies, equipment, garden tools, things along that line. And so it is our recommendation that you review the architectural design of the proposed garage, subject to the conditions of approval attached, adopt the special use permit findings, as well as the categorical exemption for small structures, and direct staff to file a notice of exemption. The applicant is present if you have any questions.
A straightforward garage in the back? You're not gonna store anything crazy in there? No. All right.
okay, that one is not really visible from the street, but would the applicant like to make anything? You don't have to, but if you'd like to make a comment.
Only if you have questions. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, you want,
He just wants to know what kind of cool toys you're gonna put in there.
I
Okay.
just want, as a matter of business, make sure the public comment is in the microphone, so it's being able to pick up, since I know Commissioner Wolf is not able to hear, probably would have very difficult time hearing the responses.
Oh, he can't hear us?
Unless he's at a microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
you could just say your name and address for our records, please.
Yes, my name is Kyle Hadley, and I live at this address. It's 35778 Date Avenue, up on the North Bench in Yucaipa, yes.
Okay? And your garage is personal toys, right? Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Would you like me to tell you what they are?
No, no. No, I
Okay.
think we're good. Any of the commissioners have any questions for you?
Nope. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We have any public comments on that?
No, we have not received any
Okay.
slips for that item.
I guess we just close the public hearing on that, and I guess we move to the commissioners. Let's start with Tony. You have any?
No, no questions. We did a little site visit and it all looks good.
Yeah. Ms. Beck, anything?
No,
Chris?
no questions.
What about Mr. Wolf? Are you up there? Okay, so can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion if no one else would.
Yeah, please.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve case number 20-143 for a special use permit and architectural rendering, and adopt items A through D.
Okay, we need a second. Second that. Mr. Beck, second that. Okay, Chris, could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Hicks,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolf, Commissioner Rickstad, Commissioner Markarian,
Aye.
Commissioner Brzee, Commissioner Beck,
Aye.
and Chair Algauer.
Yes. Motion carries. You got
Luck.
yourself a shop. Okay. Ben, do we have any announcements?
No particular announcements. We will not have a second meeting in March, but we will have a meeting most likely April 7th. So it'll be the first meeting of April. We'll have a few items for that one.
In April? Okay. With that, we can adjourn our first meeting for this year.
Yeah.
Thank you.